So, what do you get when you cross a beauty queen, a veteran, and a mother? The answer is me. Today, I'm going to tell you about myself, which is one of my favorite topics. So, I'm going to take you on a trip down memory lane, go a little bit into my past, go into where I am right now, and then kind of give you an outline of what I would like for my future. So, it all started May 23rd, 1980 in San Diego, California. That's where I was born. I was born into a military family. My dad's in the Coast Guard. So we moved around a lot, but we mainly stayed on the West Coast. It made me a stronger person moving around so much because I had to adapt to all kinds of different situations. For example, in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we lived in San Francisco, California, and I went to school, middle school, in the inner city of San Francisco at a middle school where Caucasians were the minority. So I was surrounded by gangsters with the baggy clothes and everything else. So after getting beat up, because I wouldn't give someone my lunch money, I decided that the best way to handle the situation was to blend in with them. So I went through a bit of a gangster phase, more so with my fashion than with my attitude. I wore my dad's pants, and because they were baggy, and that was the style then, at least where I was, and baggy t-shirts. So that helped me to blend in and overcome that situation. From San Francisco, we moved to a very small town in Oregon called Klamath Falls, which again, I had to adapt to, going from that big city mentality to the small town mentality. So again, I had to change mainly my fashion because gangster wasn't fitting in Klamath Falls, Oregon. So that's where I went to high school. And after I graduated from high school, I didn't go to college right away. I decided I was just going to move out and see what I could do on my own first. So my family actually moved away. My dad got transferred again. They moved to Alameda, California, and I stayed in Klamath Falls. And I graduated in 1998, so I worked full-time at a television station, a local television station, which was really fun because they let me do a lot of things. I was in commercials, I got to help the news reporter film stuff, so I got a lot of exposure to something that I had a really good time. Then in 2001, I decided to enter the local beauty pageants, and I actually won. I was Miss City of Sunshine 2001, and I was able to go and compete in Miss Oregon that year and placed 8th overall. My family and friends love to give me a hard time about that now because I still talk about it, but it was my 15 minutes of fame, so I like to talk about it, and it was a lot of fun because I was like a local celebrity for a year in my little teeny tiny town. We actually would get, when we'd go do events, we'd get police escorts, which at that time I thought was cool. Now, you might be asking yourself, how did I go from pageant queen to joining the military? That's a very good question. I came to a bit of a crossroads in my life where I was kind of like, you know, you're not going anywhere. You're just kind of, I was stagnant in my life. I was just working and I didn't have a direction. And like I said, I grew up in a military family, so I figured the next best thing would be to join the Coast Guard, follow in my dad's footsteps. So I joined the Coast Guard in November of 2004. Boot camp was a shock to me. I thought boot camp would be, when we got there, there'd be some kind of orientation. Like they would be like, okay guys, welcome to boot camp. We're going to begin in about an hour. But no, it starts immediately. And being the girly girl that I am, I packed just about everything I owned. I had makeup, a hair dryer, a hair straightener, outfits, perfume, all of which was taken away from me immediately. And also, I had to go through wearing no makeup and not being able to blow dry or straighten my hair, which my hair is a frizzy, crazy mess if I don't. So I was struggling with that. And at one point, before we were allowed to shop or go buy anything at the exchange, any toiletries, I just had to let my hair air dry and do what it did. And it was foofed out to here one day. And I went into the chow hall to eat. And you have to walk a certain way and talk a certain way and do everything. Well, I was terrified. So I walked in to the chow hall, which is, again, where everyone eats. And a table full of company commanders looked at me and yelled, "Holy hair!" And I froze, and I did not know what to do. It was like my brain just short-circuited, and I just froze. I didn't know where to go, where to turn, what to say. So I had another company commander come up to me and say, "Look, just go back and take care of your hair." And I smiled, and I said, "Thank you so much." And that just drew more attention to me, and they started calling me Prom Queen, and that was my nickname in boot camp from then on, was Prom Queen. I was so mortified after that, I couldn't even eat. I just sat at the table. But it got easier for me. I actually went on to graduate from boot camp, the honor graduate, which was really special to me and my family. And then I got transferred out to the East Coast in Washington, D.C. It was my first tour of duty. And that was far from everyone I knew. I've had a really amazing Coast Guard career. I was lucky to be able to do some of the things that I was able to do. I actually met my husband in the Coast Guard, and that was on board the Coast Guard cutter Gallatin. We had a forbidden romance, because those of you in the military know you're not supposed to date anyone you work with or that's in your chain of command, but we did, and I'm glad we did, because we were able to have my beautiful daughter. So that's what made me decide to get out of the Coast Guard to raise my daughter, which I've been doing for the past 18 months. And it's been amazing. So that brings us to right now, where I've decided to go back to school, get my online degree so that I can have a good career for myself and be able to provide for my daughter all the things that she's going to need. I'd also love to have another child someday. I'm not in a huge rush, but I'm not getting any younger, so that would also be nice. So that is me in a nutshell. So I hope you learned a little bit about my past, where I am today, and my future, and I hope I provided you with a little bit of entertainment and I wasn't too boring, and I hope most of you are walking away wanting to be my friend. All right, thank you.